Throughout the past 150 years, many individuals have had a profound effect on America's national parks. From Teddy Roosevelt to Gail Norton, countless people have supported the National Park Service in ways both large and small. In the early 1900s, however, one of the NPS's largest supporters came from a very unexpected place, the son of America's most infamous oil baron, John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller Jr. was the only son of Rockefeller Sr. and was born on January 29, 1874. He joined his father in working at Standard Oil in 1897, but resigned in 1910 due to a bribery scandal involving the new head of the company. Even after exiting Standard Oil, Rockefeller was still a very prominent businessman, going on to found companies like Dunbar National Bank and financing the construction of Rockefeller Center in the late 1920s and early 30s. The point of this video isn't about how Rockefeller got his money, but rather how he spent it. Throughout the course of his life, he gave over $500 million to charity. For reference, the highest estimates of his father's net worth put it around $1.4 billion in 1937, meaning that Rockefeller Jr.'s charitable contributions would be equivalent to over $130 billion in 2021. But where did all this money go? From art museums to social justice, Rockefeller was involved in all kinds of charitable endeavors. He was particularly active in land donations, with the most notable being a plot on the East River in New York City that would later become the headquarters of the United Nations. But among all of these charitable acts, Rockefeller always had a particular interest in conservation. From Mesa Verde to Shenandoah, Rockefeller donated land to half a dozen national parks for the purpose of preservation. His involvement is particularly noteworthy in Acadia, where he not only donated land, but also developed an extensive network of carriage roads to navigate the natural wonder. These roads were designed specifically for visitors to explore without cars, in order to preserve the beauty of the landscape. In total, 57 miles of carriage roads were built in the park. Rockefeller also made sizable land donations to the Great Smoky Mountains and Yosemite National Parks, with perhaps his most interesting story coming from Grand Teton. Rockefeller purchased over 35,000 acres in the Jackson Hole Valley under the Snake River Land Company to keep people from knowing his involvement in the project. In the boom of the 1920s, however, Rockefeller found it difficult to convince farmers to sell their land. On top of that, the National Park Service initially refused to take it. However, these issues were eventually resolved, leading to the establishment of Jackson Hole National Monument in 1943, which Rockefeller's land would be added to in 1949. The monument merged into Grand Teton National Park a year later. Rockefeller Jr. definitely made a large impact on the National Park Service, and his contributions will not soon be forgotten. His donation to the Save the Redwoods League earned a portion of Humboldt Redwood State Park the name Rockefeller Forest. On top of that, the National Park Service established the Rockefeller Memorial in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, as well as the John D. Rockefeller Jr. Memorial Parkway connecting Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks in his honor. While John D. Rockefeller Jr. may not be known for quite the same business acumen as his father, his contributions to America's greatest idea cannot be overstated. Many of the parks visitors know and love today wouldn't be the same without his involvement. However, in the words of Rockefeller Jr. himself, "I believe that every right implies a responsibility, every opportunity an obligation, every possession a duty." As such, we should honor not only the man who provided these opportunities for conservation, but the modern NPS workers who protect and support them day after day. Thank you for watching RAC Adventures, and we'll see you next time.